Everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood 13-year-old, and today I am going to tell you a movie that I've seen pretty recently. I'm going to make this a 2-in-1 review of Barbie and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. To give you a little spoiler, I thought Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem was better than Barbie. But that's not to discount Barbie. Barbie was a very fun film for me, you know. So yeah, it was a very fun movie for me, that. And let me tell you about it. First, let's talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, since that's got a lot more meat to it, you know? So Mutant Mayhem is quite possibly films I've ever seen. It was a very fun and action-filled movie with a great message about, like, caring about your family and caring about the people who don't get cared about, you know? Very relatable to me, you know? I've not got a lot of friends pretty recently, but I found the people who were for me, you know. I found people who get me, you know. And it was a very good movie. Very good movie. Great message about being a parent as well, you know. Great representation for the LGBTQ plus, which I am a part of, and I do respect, you know. Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse did it too, you know. This is good. This is all good. This is all good. Plus, it's Nickelodeon, which Nickelodeon based, not gonna lie. And to think about it, seeing what Cartoon Network has become, I think personally that Nickelodeon's gonna win to Cartoon Network. They were the original after all, I'm pretty sure. And then, it was a very, like, meaty film. I loved Superfly. Superfly was the coolest character of cinema history, besides, of course, fucking Morbius. Damn, he was so fucking fly. Pun entirely intended. A great character for a great film. He represents something very interesting, you know. And let's talk about the turtles themselves. Donnie didn't have a lot to do in the movie. He was kind of a cringy anime fan, that did, like, level him, which was pretty cool. Michelangelo had the least amount to do in the movie, but he was still a fun character, you know. He twerked one time, which was pretty funny. And we have Donnie, which... Oh, I've already talked about Donnie. I meant, Raph. Raph was pretty fun. He was crazy. He fucking loved fighting. He wasn't as, like, crazy as he was in, like, most Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, which was shocking to say the least. Which, yeah, I love this character. He's very funny. And there wasn't no conflict with him and, the blue one. I forget his name. He's not my favorite. My favorite one is definitely Donatello, especially in the Rise of the TMNT movie on Netflix. Loved that. I may remake a review of that, but it's not really, like, popular, so I'll do what I do, you know? Then we have the leader of the bunch. You know him well. He's the guy who has to tell Splinter everything. It's motherfucking the blue one. I thought he was pretty cool. I liked him being, like, the leader that no one took seriously, because we all knew a kid like that. I was that kid, and I'm ashamed of that. But we've all been that kid, you know, who just tried to be the leader. You know, we either were that kid or we knew a kid like that, you know. I knew a kid like that, and I was like that, you know. And that was a long time ago, thankfully enough. I'm not like that anymore. And now, I'll talk about Splinter. Splinter was he was a cool guy, you know. The mutants that were with Superfly, they were pretty cool too. Back to Splinter. Splinter was a very, like, accurate father, you know. He felt like a real, genuine father who cared for his boys, and I loved seeing that, you know. I loved seeing a real father, you know. Plus, he got a girlfriend in the end, which was not a guy, which, not saying that's bad, just saying the people who are complaining about that, you're all pussies. And next is, April O'Neil. She was probably one of my favorite characters in the movie. Mostly because she said fucking sus in one scene, which blew me the fuck away. I was laughing my ass off just how goddamn crazy the film was. The film says stuff like sus, riz, yer. It's quite possibly one of the most unhinged movies of all time, and I loved it. I loved it so much. It was definitely an easy 8 to 8.5 out of 10. probably one of my favorite films I've seen in 2023 besides Across the Spider-Verse, which I have seen that pretty recently. I've rewatched it after it came on YouTube Movies, so I'm going to review that. Don't worry. Don't worry, I'll get to the Raimi trilogy eventually, okay? I've already put my review on Amazing Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse. You just gotta wait for the rest, alright? I'm sorry. And I'm not doing Amazing Spider-Man 2. No matter how much you pay me, I will not do that, alright? Now let's get on to the Barbie movie, finally. Now, the Barbie movie was possibly the weirdest film I've seen in 2023. Just because of how damn, goofy it was. It was goofy, yet it also had fucking sexual assault in, the first, 30 minutes, which shocked me. Which, because it's a Barbie movie, I watched it with a few friends. I watched it with my stepbrother and his cousin. It was a pretty fun movie. Mostly me and Kyle fucking loved it. We were laughing our ass off at, the whole thing. Yet it also tried to be serious, which is my least favorite part of the movie. Except for a few scenes which were actually pretty good. I liked Ugly Barbie. Ugly Barbie was pretty cool. And probably the weirdest thing I would like to talk about the Barbie movie is the discussion around it. Some people are like, hey, this is a good movie, you know, it represents, how women have been, shut down by men for years, you know, which they're right, you know, but it also puts the men in, a very, secure way, which they are sympathetic as well, even when they're over-masculine, you know. It shows their insecurities, yet also be like a beatdown of them, you know, which some people could find sexy, you know, that's their thing, but not my thing, alright? Yeah, and people were like, oh, this is an accidental anti-woke film? Hell yeah, dude! And I'm just like, what the fuck are you on about, bro? You are so dumb. You are so stupid. Kill yourself. Sorry. I just thought people were super stupid, and of course they were fucking, I'm pretty sure Ben Shapiro, did it as well. Mathematically, if we're talking any equation here, this movie has got sexual assault in it, and I love the scene where we get to see Barbie's big booty cheeks. Oh, wait, sorry, that was the behind the scenes. I also watched the, film theory about it. Pretty alright. The film theory was pretty okay. Yeah, it was a fun watch. I've been binging the theory channels for a while now. Kind of like my comfort food of YouTubers, you know? So yeah, overall, both of these films are very good. TMNT overall was better, an 8 to 8.5. Barbie was a 7 to 7.5 out of 10. Same with TMNT. TMNT was an 8.5 out of 10. Barbie was the weirdest film I've seen yet. It was probably the film I've had the most fun with. It was just a fun experience, besides, of course, TMNT. Very great film. You know, I loved it. It was quite possibly one of my favorite films I've watched this year, and I would not pass it for anything else. And now all the big companies are trying to get everything a movie. Crayola's having a fucking movie. Monopoly's getting a movie. Everything is. And don't watch those movies, guys, because they're bad movies. They're gonna be bad movies no matter what. You know? Barbie is different because they actually changed something, and it had a really good director, apparently. I've not watched any of the other directors' work besides Barbie. But overall, I loved the film. I loved both of the films very much. And I will be downloading TMNT Mutant Mayhem on YouTube Movies when it comes out. Excuse me. This film yet I've seen. It's the longest movie I've ever longest review I've ever done, besides, of course, oh, fucking hell, the Shrek review. I wasn't really a review, it was kind of just of me pirating the movie. It was for my friend, but, you know, I uploaded it on for the big bucks, so I'm joking, obviously. I didn't get any money from it, because I'm a YouTuber that has 40 subs.